Yummy.
Beep, bum, bum, bum. I smell the blood of an Englishman. Be he alive or be he dead, I'll grind his bones to make my bread.
Once upon a time, in a small kingdom of tiny cottages, babbling brooks, and rolling hills, lived a little witch. A middle-sized wolf, an absolutely enormous giant. His awesome footsteps echoed like thunder throughout the land.
Many years ago, there was a very fine cathedral that stood in the ancient city of Nottingham. From the bell tower, you could see all the sights that made Nottingham so historic. Sherwood Forest, the River Trent, and Bryan Clough, and the Rupture Appliance Factory. One person who knew those sites better than most was Quasimodo, who, unwanted as a baby, had been locked away in the bell tower, where he had grown and grown. Even though the bell tower was big, there wasn't really enough room for Quasimodo, who consequently became hunched up, and the local people teased him from the market square below, calling him the Hunchback of Nottingham.
Fee, fi, fo, fum. Get lost, good folks of Nottingham.
Every year there was a goose fair in the city, and among the many traders and visitors was a gypsy dancer called Esmeralda. Her wonderful dancing captivated the local prince, who had come to the fair to present the prizes in the archery competition. As usual, first prize went to a Mr. R. Hood of Sherwood, but the princess prize was undoubtedly Esmeralda.
Gypsy girl, your dancing is a delight.
Are you trying to check me up?
Heaven forbid, child.
I know you puss types. You like to chase after servants. And with her Romany instinct, Esmeralda had got it exactly right. He was always dashing here and dashing everywhere. Blinded by love, the amorous prince would go to any lengths to find true happiness.
I love you, darling. Will you marry me?
Well, almost any length. Nothing seemed to work out well for the prince. He'd been stolen, put to sleep, woken up again, given away to a giant, married and divorced, and turned into a frog. And all this for being witty, intelligent, the #1 prince in the world. Are you all right?
Perfectly. I say, come here.
But with the prince in hot pursuit, Esmeralda ran for the sanctuary of the cathedral, slamming the great door behind her. Before her, she saw a huge flight of steps which seemed to stretch to infinity. Nervously, she climbed up and up until she stood before a great oak door. With all her nerve and her strength, she pushed it open. Oh!
Don't be frightened. I only want someone to help me.
But I help you if you promise not to hurt me.
I promise, said Quasimodo.
So pleased for having company, his only companions being the books that lined the walls of his tower and the occasional pigeon which he ate for supper.
Oh, yum, yum.
Oh, you poor man, who keeps you shut up here?
Someone who's been chasing after you. I've been watching.
Esmeralda! Esmeralda!
That man.
I'm coming to rescue you, Esmeralda, said the prince, who had hired the services of a certain Mr. R. Hood. Leave things to me. The prince, who was an expert abseiler, climbed up the tower.
Has this creature frightened one?
You have it in your power to release him from the tower.
Yes, it's called tower power.
Well?
Certainly not. We need him to ring the bells for all sorts of things.
Such as?
Such as the end of world wars and Notts County winning the cup.
So he won't be very busy, will he?
And when you marry me on Saturday next.
Marry you?
But I wanted to marry you, darling.
But when the great day came, poor Quasimodo was prisoner in his tower, while the whole marriage service proceeded below.
Bet they don't even give me a slice of cake.
Esmeralda, will you take this prince as your husband? No, not unless he lets Quasimodo free.
But, my dear, oh, go on then.
You're free!
I'm free, Bum, Bo, 5B,
cried Quasimodo, dyslectic with excitement. He swung on the huge center bell which crashed against the others until the whole carillon rang across the city. Harder and harder he swung until the huge bell dramatically burst through the tower.
Anybody gotta tell, you'll be hearing from the Archdeacon in the morning.
The prince was married to Esmeralda, but they were held up on their way to the honeymoon in Mansfield by one Mr. R. Hood, archer and robber of the rich, to give to the poor, and left them skint.